So all the worlds attained as results of karmas are liable to destruction, in the sense that when the merits of the karmas performed are exhausted, one has to leave off those higher worlds and be born again here in this world. Simplify. There is a child, he goes to school, from school he goes to college, then he goes for higher education in a university, gets all the degrees necessary for a good job. So with those degrees, he gets a job. He has a successful career. So these degrees and the courses, they keep him in the job for a duration. So the karma performed to acquire those degrees gives the result a successful job. Now those karmas have a limit. They keep you in the job for a time, maybe very long time, 20 years, 30 years, sometimes even more, but still it is limited time. When the merits of those karmas are exhausted, then the person is retired. He has to leave the job. He's back from home, he went to school, from school to college, college to university, university to job, and when the karmas, the results are exhausted, he's back home. This is what scriptures say, higher worlds and come back, and let's simplify. Something which we see every day. So either you are retired or you are out of job, because the karmas and the results of those karmas are exhausted, they are limited. So you are born again in this world means you are back to square one. Before you did the karma of entering the school, what you are just like that now. We often hear, "Bacche boode ek barabar." So that's what the scripture is saying. Back. Bacha also needs a carer, and the old man also needs a carer. Same. There are innumerable difficulties in performing karmas to their perfection, fulfilling all the conditions prescribed in the scriptures. When karmas are not done in the manner in which they ought to be done and are defective, the performer not only loses the result in the form of attainment of higher realms of enjoyment, but earns demerit or sin, which causes suffering either in this world or in the next, or both. So the first example that we took referred to somebody who performs the karma successfully, a good student and a good employee. This is ideal situation, but sometimes things are not ideal. So if you are a defective performer of karma, then you start earning demerit even when you are performing karmas. People fail the examination. People are careless in their job and their services are terminated. So even with desire, if you are performing karmas, you have to be careful. Otherwise, the suffering starts before retirement, before completing the full tenure. So the scripture says, only the deluded fools, believing the ritualistic karmas prescribed in the scriptures, perform them with the hope of enjoyment here and hereafter. This is the absolute standpoint, that if one believes that by performing the karmas one can have enjoyment, then it is a delusion, because of this inherent scheme of things. There is a temporariness, even though it may be very long temporary, but the temporary is temporary and will always be temporary. It will not become permanent. So the world is temporary, and world and our stay in the world will never become permanent. So if one is hoping to get that higher knowledge or the highest knowledge, and at the same time wanting to be in the world, then there is a contradiction. There is a contradiction. There are some others, the Vanprasthas, the forest dwellers, not sannyasis, and the learned householders who have their senses under control, who practice meditation over and above the duties pertaining to their position in life. After death, they go by the northern path and then reach Brahmaloka, the world of Hiranyagarbha. Compared to the ultimate goal, which is nothing less than Supreme Brahman, this attainment of the world of Hiranyagarbha is said to be lower or inferior, as it is also the result of lower knowledge. See, we can be in a prison and we can be with golden chain. So another prisoner is in the iron chain and one prisoner is in the golden chain. Both are prisoners. So similarly, in the ordinary sense, what we refer to a good grihastha or a good vanaprastha who performs all the ritualistic karmas, follows the scriptural injunctions, but there is a desire. May I be happy. May my family be happy. May I do everything as per dharma. These are also desires. Compared to the other desires, these are better desires. They are more refined desires. They are nobler desires. Noble desire is also a desire. So the scriptures, when they have to explain the absolute truth, so these things have to be spelt very, very clearly. They cannot leave things vague to add to the confusion that we already have. So when you have to be frank, when you have to be straightforward, which the scriptures always are, then the truth is like this, that even though you attain a very long period of happiness, is like Brahmaloka, but it is still short of attaining the Supreme Brahman. The Upanishad wants the seekers not to be satisfied even with the world of Hiranyagarbha, but to transcend that also and become one with the imperishable, the non-dual Brahman, through this Apara Vidya, the supreme knowledge. So the question is ultimate knowledge, and by analysis we are finding that anything that has something to do with the uh, desire, it takes us only to a world which is by nature temporary. So this temporary world is quite different from the permanent, or here it is called imperishable. So the imperishable and temporary are contradictions. So the worldly outlook, we are only carrying a worldly outlook, worldly identification, and the scriptures are helping us to disidentify with this world. Stop saying that I am in the world. I am a worldly person. And as if you know something about the world, when the whole world itself is temporary. So who can know about the temporary? Even if it does, it doesn't change the temporariness of the world. If somebody understands the world and somebody doesn't understand the world itself is temporary, transitory. Every moment there is a change. So if somebody has known the world at a particular time, but the next moment is quite different. So what he has known as 8:15 AM, now it is 8:30 PM. The whole world has changed. There can be a corona epidemic. Change. There can be a Russia-Ukraine war. Change. There can be economic crisis in Sri Lanka. Change. There is a change of prime minister in Pakistan. Change. So how can we hope to get a glimpse of the imperishable if we continue to identify with this changing phenomenal world? So the first step required is to disidentify. Let the world be there, but there is no need to say that it is my world or I belong to the world. World is mine. The world will give me what I want. So these are the things which the scriptures are guiding us to avoid. That is all. And they are giving us reasons. If you want to go to the basic, then the reasoning is just tackle the desire. Stop desiring the world, anything of the world. Without desire, whatever comes, just take it as yours. So long as the body mind is there, take it as a prasad. That is also part of the cosmic law. And if you're doing that, then you get a glimpse of the imperishable, the witness is relatively imperishable to start with. The witness who witnesses his body growing is imperishable. The witness who witnesses the changing moods in the mind is imperishable. The witness who witnesses the changes of the world is imperishable. Stay there. Let this witness be careful that the desire may not come in the witness, because without desire also things are happening. The body is growing. Whether you desire your body to become 7 feet or 8 feet, it won't. But it will attain some height. It will have some weight. Whether you want or you don't want, you will find yourself in the company of people. The people will come into your life. The materials, the objects will also come. Opportunities will also come. Take them. And whatever it leads to, one should find oneself there. They say flow with the current. The current is of the divine. So if one is serious about wanting to have a glimpse of the imperishable, then one has to start recognizing the witness part as the imperishable, and also feel the imperishable flow of the cosmic law, the cosmic current, and align. That witness should align with the cosmic law. That is the starting point of this Upanishad. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.